When my brother was a freshman in college, he said something that we've remembered to this day, which was either homeschool was hard or college is easy. Is that the result of a rigorous homeschool education? Let's talk about it. Hey, guess what? We're gonna make cookies later today.
Does that mean I don't have to do my math today?
But no, you still gotta do your math. We're just gonna make cookies. Hi, I'm Rachel from 7 and All. I am a homeschool graduate myself, now beginning the second generation of homeschool with my own sons. And today I want to talk about rigorous homeschool versus relaxed homeschool. This was actually a requested video because I have regularly described our homeschool as having a rigorous approach. I usually use this in curriculum videos so that people don't freak out at how much work my teenage sister is doing in her homeschool. I got asked to talk about what does rigorous homeschool look like for our family? How would that maybe be different from relaxed homeschool? And I want to talk about maybe rigorous and relaxed homeschoolers have more in common than you might think we do at first. Maybe we're not actually on opposite sides in some great battle over homeschool. So first of all, why? Kind of what is our reason why for rigorous homeschool in the first place? And first of all, I would just say it starts with family culture. Every family has its own culture. Every family has its own values. There are some families that are super into sports. That's not the 7 and All family by a long shot. There are some families that are super into music and everyone can play musical instruments. They put a lot of effort into that. Also not the 7 and All family. What our family is really good at, we're good at working, working hard at whatever we do. We are pretty academic. We like academics, we like learning, we like reading. We're kind of nerdy. My parents met and got married in engineering school, literally a college that was only for engineering. So I've told that story many times because I think it describes them very well. It describes the math and science focused homeschool that I was raised in very well. I was raised by engineers, those type of minds. Academics, doing well in school is just a high value to us. It's a high value to the family my mom came from, and it's been passed down. Also, your children and who they are and the way their minds work also shape your family culture. I was the oldest kid, and I just have the kind of brain that thrives in academics. This was my mom teaching me to read. She taught me my alphabet, and then next thing she knew, I was reading chapter books and classic novels and stuff like that by around the age of 5 and 6 years old. So I have that type of mind that thrives on learning. As my mom always said, when you have a kid who has a mind like that, it would be a crime to not do schoolwork with them, to not give them all the books and all the resources and just throw curriculum at them and let them fly, because that's what that kind of mind thrives with. So me being the oldest and being a very having the type of mind that learns very easily, being a more traditionally gifted learner, that definitely impacted my parents' homeschool because I was first. Also, we started homeschooling in the early 90s. My mom was that pioneer generation of homeschoolers, and for them, they had the burden of proof to prove if homeschooling works. For me, I don't feel like I need to prove homeschooling works because I already did that. I already did that when I graduated college at 20 with a 4.0, you know? I don't feel like I need to prove homeschooling can work. It's those of us in the second generation, modern homeschoolers have it easier because we can all point to all the people who did it before that say, oh look, colleges love homeschoolers. Oh, look at that homeschooler doing awesome stuff. We have people to point to who did it first, but the pioneering homeschoolers, they didn't. So they did have to work hard to prove that homeschool could work, that you could educate people very well by homeschooling. So these factors kind of combined to create a great atmosphere for a family that appreciates rigor in our homeschool. Now, what does rigorous homeschool look like? See, when people, especially within the relaxed homeschooling movement, I feel like people hear rigorous education and they equate that with miserable fights between child and parent, and they equate it with really high stress for kids and for teenagers. And for us, that is not what it looked like at all, not remotely like that. Pretty much no stress, mostly no misery. There's always a child who doesn't feel like they're in their mood to do their schoolwork today, and our response is not to say, okay, fine, you can do schoolwork when you want to. Our family's response has been to know, no, you have a job. Your job is to do your schoolwork, and you're going to do your job. So that's maybe one of the more rigorous homeschool things that we do. We still do individualized education, individualized learning. So I was allowed to move at my own pace, even when it was lightning speed. Not all of my siblings learned in the same way that I did. Some of them had learning difficulties. I have a sister with dyslexia who had a very hard and long journey to reading, to writing, spelling, any of these types of foundational skills. It did not come easily to her at all. But that didn't mean that we backed off, or that didn't mean that we said, oh, she's probably not going to make it to a very high reading level or anything like that. In our rigorous families homeschool approach, that meant that we leaned into it. And it didn't mean that there were miserable school sessions between my dyslexic sister and my mom, and that there were a lot of tears and all that. No, it was just she understood that she struggled with reading and that she'd have to work harder at it and use different techniques to learn. And she worked at it. She does have a temperament that she is a very, very hard worker, excellent student, though things did not come easily to her. She worked hard at it. Mom had to work harder. It was harder work actually for both teacher and for student, but it wasn't miserable work or joyless work. There was so many celebrations. There was so much excitement when she discovered a new tool that could help her to learn easier, help her to make it to new milestones. That sister with dyslexia is doing excellently today. She graduated college with honors. She is a teacher herself. Learning disability, a learning difficulty did not have to hinder her at all, because we worked hard to conquer it through it, and we had joy even through the process of working extra harder to learn. Also, we did not find our rigorous homeschool to be high stress in any way. My 15-year-old sister, some of you have noticed, she has a very intense workload, especially for her age. She's doing a lot. But unlike a high schooler would be in a ambitious high school where they're taking a lot of advanced classes, there's basically zero stress in her school, because we don't have a schedule that's like, okay, you have to take this test for science by this day. We go with, we're gonna shoot for finishing the chapter by here, and then we might be, oh, well, we really haven't had enough time to master this content. You can tell you don't feel that you've mastered the content yet. We're gonna take some time, we're gonna do some extra practice problems. We'll take a little more time, then she'll take the test, and she'll be able to feel that she mastered that material. She'll be able to do very well on it. If she has a writing assignment, there's no firm due date. We have a general idea of schedule, but really she has no due dates, because she is the type of personality that most of the time she ends up getting everything done faster than we would have even scheduled for it to be done anyways. So there's no need to have due dates when you have a personality like that pushes herself to get it done at a natural pace for her, at a manageable pace that still gives her time to do the laundry, cook dinner, babysit her nephews, have fun with her friends, all the things that are part of a 15-year-old's life. She does all that. She doesn't have the stress of, oh no, I have this many tests on this day, because we don't do that. If you have a test on one day and you don't want to do 2 tests on the same day, you don't have to. You can work on something else. So that's what I would say. We are rigorous. We work very hard. We do push our students to always do their best. We don't accept slipshod work, but it's not a stressful and miserable environment. So see, relaxed homeschoolers, we're not crazy. We're still homeschoolers. So I hope that that gives you a better picture of what I mean when I say rigorous homeschool for our family. We do tend to start earlier. You've seen that with my son. I've had a homeschool routine going with him since actually slightly before he turned 2 years old. And does that mean that I'm rushing him into kindergarten? No, but it means that I see so much value in the rhythms of learning in everyday life and in sitting down together and in reading and in doing the work and teaching him to value work and to value learning as an awesome part of life. That it's worth doing even at a young age. And we also, one of the things that we do a little bit differently, our goal is not to get school done in an hour or two. Like, school is one of the most fun and most exciting parts of our day. I mean, moms, a lot of your life is work. It's like mopping floors and washing dishes and doing the laundry. So like, why would we rush through our school to do that? Because school is when we get to do the fun stuff. We get to read all the good books. We get to do crafts. We get to, do these fun school activities and have really good conversations and practice our second and third languages. It's fun. It's like the best part of a normal average day. So yeah, we do spend a lot of time on school compared to, all the homeschoolers who say, oh yeah, we just do an hour or two of school in a day. I don't want to spend all my life working. I want to do school and have fun. So that's also part of it. And what is the big goal of our rigorous homeschool? It's not to get into Ivy League schools or have very prestigious careers that make a ton of money. I'm very smart. I did very well on every standardized test I've ever taken. I did very well through academia. I love academia. I actually almost started getting my master's degree in 2020, but then I got hired for a big writing contract, and then I just really couldn't be a mom of 2 young babies and master's degree and have a really intense writing contract at the same time. So I decided on the one that made me money. I love academia, but my goal is not that, I want to have this really, prestigious career and stuff. There's just fun in learning. All of our family finds so much fun in learning and in doing our best work, in growing every single year. So I want to see my kids growing and learning constantly every year, and I myself and my mom, we do too. We want to keep challenging ourselves in homeschool, growing to be better teachers, better homeschool moms, and we have a lot of fun being rigorous homeschoolers as the big homeschool 7-in-all family all together. Go down in the comments. Let me know, what do you think are some of the differences between people who identify as rigorous versus relaxed homeschoolers, and what do you think are some of the similarities that we have in common?